you feel it in the air? Could be the fear that's everywhere. Moon don't look friendly, there's blood in the sky, and a taste of sweat burning in my eyes. Yeah. The kids are getting ready. You think they're insane? And the street night's coming, and they'll never be the same. Look out for the darkness, hold on to your soul. It's a call of the wild, and it's called rock and roll. Power of the night, the streets are calling, stealing from the light, shadows calling. It's the power of the night, the streets are calling. Power the flame is desire, burns in the street. No, it's gonna strike again and again. Hold on to the night, hold on till the end. Power of the night, the streets are calling, stealing from the light, shadows crawling. It's the power of the night, the streets are calling.
There you are. Come to Daddy. Oh, critters, critters, how I love you. Oh, my pretty critters. Oh, critters. Oh, critters, critters, critters. Oh. Critters. Oh. Oh. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I love you, critters. Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Ooh, yeah. Oh, ooh. Yeah, Critters 1, Critters 2, Critters 3, Critters 4. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for a new Critters movie, man. Wait a minute. What day is it? What? It's March 21st. That means that Critters, a new Binge, is on Shudder. Holy shit. Holy shit. What am I waiting for? What am I waiting for? Holy fuck. Holy fuck, y'all. Critters is back. Critters is fucking back, y'all.
I'm sure whatever it is, I can handle it. What the Oh shit! You're too late.
It appears there are hundreds of hairy balls descending through the air.
Ooh, that's right. Critters, a new binge, is out on Shudder, and ooh-wee. I have been waiting as a lifelong Critters fan. I have been waiting for what seems like forever for there to be a true sequel and follow-up to the Critters movies that I know and love. Because the Critters films, all 4 Critters movies, are classic films in my humble opinion, and some of my favorite movies of all time, some of my favorite horror movies, and definitely the best PG-13 horror franchise of all time. But guys, I have been so excited ever since the trailer dropped for Critters, a new binge. I have been beyond excited to see this new iteration of Critters. But I am cautiously optimistic about Critters, a new binge, and I have been waiting to see what's going to happen. Because now, not only is Critters, a new binge out, but the Sci-Fi Channel has created their own Critters movie, their own Critters 5, y'all, which is rumored to star Dee Wallace Stone from the original Critters, but we'll find out more on that later. But anyways, I am about to watch Critters, a new binge for the first time. That's right, the first time. And guess what, y'all? Guess what? I am going to be bringing you my review as soon as I watch this new Critters, because I have been cautiously optimistic, y'all. I don't know what to expect. I don't think the Chiodo brothers were involved with Critters, a new binge at all. And I don't even know if they're involved with the new Sci-Fi Channel show. But hopefully Critters, a new binge will be the new binge that Critters fans have been waiting for. Did I get my hopes too high? Or did Critters, a new binge scratch that Critters itch that has been itching inside horror fans since Critters 4 was released? Find out. I am about to watch Critters, a new binge. This is Evan Lefavor Reviews. Critters, a new binge. Ooh-wee. Oh my God. I just got done watching Critters, a new binge on Shudder, y'all. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Can you tell that I liked it? Oh, yeah, y'all. Like I said, Critters is one of my favorite franchises of all time. Next to the Chucky franchise, growing up, Critters was such a big part of my childhood. All the films are great. Critters 2, Critters 3, Critters 4. For God's sakes, Critters 4. We can't forget about Critters 4 now, can we? The moral of the story is this, that Critters, a new binge is here. And what did I think of it? Well, y'all, it's funny that I should mention the Child's Play series, because the Chucky series, it started off pretty serious. The first 3 films were very serious horror movies. And then the fan base kind of splintered when Bride of Chucky came out, and it was more of a horror comedy than the previous entries. And then, of course, Seed of Chucky came along and really embraced the absurdity of the Child's Play franchise and the whole concept of a possessed doll. And they really played it up for the laughs. And a lot of people hated Seed of Chucky. But I am a fan of Seed of Chucky. I like that film. So I want you all to know that Critters: A New Binge is most definitely the Seed of Chucky of the Critters franchise. All right? So that means going into this movie, or should I say this series, this web series that is basically Critters 5, for lack of a better term. Going into this movie, you need to expect a different tone than you got with the first 4 Critters movies, okay? Because it is a definitely different tone than you're used to if you just got done watching Critters 1 through 4. Now, sure, the first 4 Critters movies definitely had their moments of comedy. There was definitely a lot of comedic moments thrown in there, but make no mistakes, the original 4 Critters movies were definitely horror movies with occasional comedic elements. But Critters: A New Binge is without a doubt, unquestionably, a horror comedy. This is a horror comedy movie, or should I say web series, a Shudder exclusive. And it is a horror comedy, and it embraces this fact unabashedly. And the results had me cracking up. And as a Critters fan, I loved it from beginning to end. And I can already tell there's going to be, just like the Chucky fans got pissed off with Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky, I can already tell there's going to be Critters fans who are going to be pissed off about Critters: A New Binge because it is so drastically different in tone than the original 4 movies, okay? But the moral of the story is Critters: A New Binge is worth your time. Sure, when you watch all the episodes back to back, it's slightly less than your average full-length feature film. So, but it packs a punch, y'all. And like I said, this Critters film embraces certain aspects, and that's what makes this movie good. You have to go into this movie looking to laugh, looking to have a good time, looking to celebrate all things Critters, and you can't go wrong. Okay? And now, the Chiodo brothers, who did the original Critters films and the Killer Clowns from Outer Space films, they did all the special effects in those original films. They were not involved with Critters: A New Binge, and you can tell. You can tell that Critters: A New Binge had a very, very low budget, and the filmmakers knew. They knew that they did not have a good enough budget to top or even replicate the practical critter effects from the original films. So, you can tell that the filmmakers have embraced these effects being cheesy, okay? They have fully embraced the cheesiness of these effects. And now, don't get me wrong, in the original Critters movies, the effects were amazing, the critters were lifelike, and they were not cheesy at all, But that is where Critters: A New Binge distinguishes itself drastically from the originals, is that this does indeed have some of the most hilarious creature effects I've ever seen in a movie. It is so funny. Okay, some of the biggest jokes in this movie, I laughed out loud. Some of the most I've ever laughed out loud in this movie was when the critters were on screen, and it was fucking hilarious. It was hilarious, okay? Some of this critter action is over the top, and it is great. It is great, and it is so cheesy. They know that it's cheesy, and most of the time you can see the puppeteers' arms or their heads in the background puppeteering these critter puppets. And it's cheesy, but they embrace it all the way, and I fucking love it. And people are gonna, they're gonna look at this as a horrible direction for the Critters franchise because they want their Critters, the movies, to be so serious. But why so serious? It's a horror comedy, y'all. Just embrace the fun. And you got, just like Seed of Chucky, if you want to enjoy Critters: A New Binge, just get ready for comedy. Get ready to laugh. Don't take it so seriously, all right? Yes, the Critters movies is sacred ground. It is sacred territory. The Critters films are some of the greatest films ever created in the history of mankind. But Critters: A New Binge does not betray those original films. It is a celebration and homage of all things Critters. And I loved it. What did I love about this series? I loved the fact that it was cheesy and it embraced it. I loved the fact that it was a celebration of all things Critters. But what I really loved about Critters: A New Binge is the fact that they gave distinct personalities to all the critters, and they actually made the critters the good guys in this movie. The main characters are essentially the critters, all right? And they came up with some very distinct personalities to give these new critters, and it's so much fun, y'all. I'm not going to spoil any of the plot or what this new series is all about, because I want you to discover that on your own, and I hate reviewers who just do reviews and all they do is sit there and tell you what happens in the movie. All right, a review should not be just some guy sitting in front of a camera explaining to you what happens in the movie. It is a critique of the fucking product, and that is what it should be, and that is what I'm here to bring to you. Oh yeah, Critters: A New Binge, y'all. Critters: A New Binge. I had so much fun. Sure, the effects are cheesy, but they embrace this. Sure, the jokes don't always land, all right? Some of the humor in the beginning of the first few episodes is kind of cheesy and it doesn't really land. But by the middle of this movie, toward the end, I was laughing my ass off. And forgive me, throughout this entire review, I have been referring to Critters: A New Binge as a movie. Because to me, Critters: A New Binge is the 5th Critters film, even though it is a web series. And I love the fact that this Critters: A New Binge is almost a spoof of Stranger Things and all these Netflix web series that have become popular. It's almost a spoof of that whole concept in and of itself. And a lot of people are saying, oh, this is like a spoof of a Critters movie. And they said the same shit about Seed of Chucky when Seed of Chucky came out. It's a spoof of a Chucky movie. Okay, just because something is self-aware and just because something embraces its own absurdity and its own flaws and goes 100% for the comedy, it doesn't make it bad, okay? So I think a lot of people, if you do not like Critters: A New Binge, it's your expectations as a Critters fan that are stopping you from enjoying this, because you really have to be able to appreciate so bad it's good, so cheesy that it's amazing kind of filmmaking to really appreciate Critters: A New Binge, because it is an homage to those so bad it's good, cheesy, low-budget horror movies, okay? And it is a celebration of all that. So yes, it's not as serious as the first 4 Critters movies, but it doesn't need to be, and it shouldn't be, okay? Sci-Fi Channel, whatever they're doing, hopefully it will have a drastically different tone than what we see in Critters: A New Binge. Hopefully that will be the return to the semi-serious Critters movies that all Critters fans know and love. All right, maybe that'll take on a more serious tone. We'll see. But I have nothing wrong with them embracing this absurdity and just going all the way with it in Critters: A New Binge. I fucking loved it. I loved every second of it, and I would watch it again, and I would recommend it to friends. So please, this is a Shudder exclusive. If you don't know what Shudder is, please allow me to tell you. Shudder is one of the best streaming platforms there is. If you are a horror fan who grew up in the 1980s and the 1990s and remembers what it was like to go into a video store and walk into the horror section of the video store and look at all the amazing VHS covers of all the cool horror movies and just see those awesome covers and imagine what these awesome horror movies are about. Because that's what you used to be able to do back in the day. And then you would look at a movie just by the cover and the box alone, and you would rent it and you would take it home, and it was what it was. But Shudder recreates that experience, y'all. Shudder recreates that experience for you. And if you weren't alive during the 80s or the 90s to experience what it was like to go into a video store and peruse the horror aisle of the VHS section, then you should check out Shudder, because Shudder has some of the greatest horror movies ever made. And I'm not just talking about the horror movies that mainstream knows about. I'm talking about the horror movies that maybe you've never heard of before, that only people who rented it off of the shelf at their video store knew about. Okay? Because the cover was just too cool to pass up. So now is the time to spring for a Shudder subscription. It's worth it. Check out Critters: A New Binge. Check out the amazing horror movie selection and the other cool shows on Shudder. It's totally worth it. What is my review of Critters: A New Binge? I fucking loved it, y'all. I really did. It was a horror comedy all the way. It was cheesy. It was great. I fucking had a great time watching this movie. And if you leave your expectations at the door and embrace having a good time and having a good laugh, you will enjoy this movie. And when you see how cheesy the effects are, do not let it disappoint you. Laugh out loud. It's funny. It's hilarious how cheesy they are. And that's part of the joke. Okay? And I know some Critters fans will be like, well, I don't want my Critters movies to be a joke. I want them to be so serious. Well, whatever, guys. If you don't want to enjoy Critters: A New Binge, that's your choice. It's your prerogative. If you expected Critters: A New Binge, a highly low-budget web series, to be fucking the next Citizen Kane, then of course you're going to be disappointed, y'all. But if you go into it as looking at it as a celebration for Critters fans of all things Critters, then you, my friends, will be in for a treat. I am your friend forever, Evan Lefavor. Make sure to subscribe and click the little bell if you're new for updated movie reviews and all things nostalgic right here. Courtesy of Nostalgia Trip Live, y'all. Ooh, to the motherfucking we. I can't wait, y'all. Stay tuned as soon as we know more about the Critters sci-fi movie. From the Sci-Fi Channel, I will be bringing you the news, and I will review it when it releases. So make sure to subscribe and check out some of my other reviews. Ooh-wee. Thank you so much, and check out Critters: A New Binge. I approve of this video. Bye-bye. What else did I love about Critters, a new binge? Fuck, I forgot what I fucking... Oh, god damn it. How could I forget what I loved about this goddamn show? What the fuck, Evan? What are you doing? How could you forget? How could you fucking forget? Fuck. Un momento, por favor. Un momento. Por favor. God damn it. There's something I liked about this movie and I forgot what it is. So I'm not going to sit here and waste space. I'll be right back.